Welcome back, Truth Seeker. I want to talk about Robert Bork, the last Supreme Court Justice nominee to not make it through the Senate Judiciary Committee. In 1987, he was rejected, and in his place, Anthony Kennedy was installed. And the thing about Robert Bork is his biggest critic was Ted Kennedy, so how ironic that a justice named Anthony Kennedy ended up taking the spot. As we'll get to, Anthony Kennedy became the 104th Supreme Court Justice all time, and he was installed a span of 104 days from Robert Bork being rejected. None of this by accident. Again, everything done in Washington, D.C. is a perfect numerological ritual. So, there's been these headlines in recent days from the mainstream media, this term called borking, which means essentially rejecting a Supreme Court justice nominee. And people are wondering if Kavanaugh is going to be the first Supreme Court justice nominee to experience borking since Robert Bork. I want you to see that the term borking has gematria of 113, like Scottish, as in Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. As we've been talking about, in gematria, Supreme Court and Scottish Rite both share gematria of 57. Kavanaugh was nominated July 9th. His hearings began September 4th, 57 days later. One more time, Washington, D.C. is named after the Scottish Rite Freemason George Washington. The name George equals 57. George Washington was inaugurated at age 57. Consider Kavanaugh served George W. Bush. All ritual. Scottish Rite got their headquarters right there in D.C. So now let's look at how Masonic this whole thing was, the borking of Robert Bork. He was nominated July 1st, 1987, and his birthday is March 1st. From his birthday to July 1st was 17 weeks and 4 days. 17-4 like 174, like how Supreme Court with the alphabetic order sums to 174. Here, where it sums to 57, is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. So instead of S counting as 19, here it counts as 1 because the numerology of 19 is 1 plus 9 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. Instead of U counting as 21, in this cipher here, it's 2 plus 1 is 3. So Supreme Court's 57 here. When you just add up the letters whole, 19 plus 21 plus 16 plus 18, using the alphabetic order, Supreme Court's 174. This man gets nominated 17 weeks, 4 days into his age. So, a lot of things are interesting here, but for the sake of time and focusing on what's most important, look at what day the NAACP, which is a Masonically controlled organization that does everything by the numbers too, look at what day they came out against Bork. July 5th, a date that can be written 5/7 like 57. They did not want this man on the Supreme Court. On October 6th, Bork's nomination was rejected in the committee by a 9-5 vote. So that was the first rejection, but not the final rejection. Think about the date October 6th. That's the same day Anita Hill came out and spoke against Clarence Thomas. And if you missed my video on Clarence Thomas, October 6th was his 106th day of his age. 106, October 6th, 10/6. Authority has gematria of 106, like the Supreme Court is. They are the authority of the land. You know, their decisions have more power than anyone else's, lifetime appointments. October 6th is also the day leaving 86 days left in the year. As we talked about, Thomas equals 86. His accuser, Anita Hill, her name equals 86. Sexual assault equals 86. Kavanaugh equals 86. The parallels between Kavanaugh and Clarence Thomas. So, the final rejection came on October 23rd, 1987. This was the date that Bork was voted down. Notice there were 42 votes in favor of him becoming a justice and 58 votes against. 42 and 58. What do those numbers symbolize? The word Freemason has Gematria 42. The word Freemasonry has Gematria 58. And consider that the date, October 23rd, 1987, 10 plus 23 plus 19 plus 87 equals 139. With the alphabetic order, Freemasonry is 139. With the alphabetic order and rules of numerology, Freemasonry is 58. 58 no votes had it, 42 in favor. It just goes to show these votes are not real. They're all symbolic. It's all following the puppet script. It's all part of planned rituals. Again and again. And we've talked about this many times. These vote counts for these things in history. You look at the numbers in the yea and nay votes. You know what the symbolism is if you know this language of Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, which is a Masonic practice. See, it's their little secret, and they put it in front of our face all throughout history. We don't have a clue. By the way, the letters D, C, there's something called Sumerian Gematria where you multiply each letter times 6, then you add. D's the fourth letter. 4 times 6 is 24. C's the third letter. 3 times 6 is 18. So you have 24 plus 18, 42. DC 42. Freemason 42. Think about the Freemason logo, the capital G. That's the seventh letter. 7 times 6, 42. The land named after the Freemason. The land run by Freemasonry. Think about October 23rd, too, just in itself, the date of this. 10 plus 23, what's that? 33. Masonry equals 33. Secrecy 33. Order 33. Federal 33. George Washington, the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. October, the only month that sums to 33. The reason Bork got voted down is because so many people said he was a racist, he was going to bring back segregation, and because he wanted to overturn Roe v. Wade. They're saying the same thing about Kavanaugh. And the difference now is it's been 45 years since Roe v. Wade. Pro-life equals 45, Holy Bible 45, NIV 45, IHS 45. That's the Jesuit acronym for their motto. Today, September 27th, the Kavanaugh testimony versus Christine Blasey Ford, another ritual by the numbers. It's coming on the Jesuit order's birthday, and Kavanaugh is a Jesuit. By the way, Jesuit equals 42. Catholic Church has the Gematria 58 as well. You know, one more time, Washington, D.C. used to be the Catholic colony. That's why it's between Virginia and Maryland, like Virgin Mary. So again, Anthony Kennedy ended up becoming the 104th Supreme Court Justice instead of Robert Bork. And from the rejection to the date that he was confirmed, February 3rd, span of 104 days, all ritual. And notice, 97 votes in favor, none against. Supreme equals 97, as in Supreme Court. Alphabetic order, Supreme 97. That's why the latest Supreme Court Justice, Neil McGill Gorsuch, was installed on April 7th, the 97th day of the year. And again, that date, 4-7, April 7th, like 47, judge equals 47, gavel 47, obey 47, government 47, authority 47, DC 47, and so on. Republican 47, Democrat 47, President 47, White House 47, Trump 47. I should also mention that the name Robert has Gematria 33 in light of him getting rejected October 23rd. The bad news didn't end there for Robert Bork either. Robert Heron Bork, his full name, 85. Look at how old he was when he died. He was 85 years old. Died December 19th, 2012. He turned 85 that year on March 1st. He died exactly 42 weeks into his age. 42 again, you know. Freemason 42, DC 42. He had 42 votes in favor, 58 against. From his 86th birthday to the day he died, span of 73 days. Sacrifice 73, ritual sacrifice 73. So this is what happens when you sign up with this cartel, you know. Sure, Robert Bork enjoyed a lot of privileges in this world for being with the network he was, but he also got to be publicly humiliated, getting rejected for the Supreme Court, and then in the end, he got to be murdered. Could have been worse. He got to live to be 85 and deep into 85. But this is what it is to serve this gang of tyrants, the people who truly control the federal government, the Zionists, the Masons in high places. We'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time. Encore. I also meant to make clear that Brett Kavanaugh is attempting to replace Anthony Kennedy, and Anthony Kennedy is connected to the last Supreme Court justice to not make it through the confirmation process. Could Kavanaugh be the next since Robert Bork and also connected to Kennedy? That's the riddle to watch here. Until next time.